morning, everybody. Welcome Thursday. Happy, almost Friday. Happy almost Friday. Coffee crew rolling in. Thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in live, don't forget hit the like. Always helps out the stream, gets it out there to all the people. We had a couple new people yesterday, which was great to see. If there's anybody new that's watching, don't be afraid to say hi as well. And for those that are rolling in, coffee crew, good morning, good morning. And one last thing, housekeeping. If you're watching on the replay, we do go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to about 8:45. It'd be great to have you join live. But as always, replay is always over on the channel. There we go. That's the bits and pieces out of the way. How was everybody tomorrow? What a kind of a wild day yesterday. If everybody was following everything going on with the Fed, that's the big news, right? We'll talk about that a little bit today, and watching the market go up, down, all around, and then today back again. Such a crazy time out there, that is for sure. It's enough to make you want to not invest. That is for sure. Good morning, Candace. Always first coffee, donuts. I've got my coffee. It's hot. I literally ran in, sat down with a hot cup of coffee a minute before this started. So I'm running around today for some reason. I'm not sure why though. But good morning. Good to have you here. Hopefully your day is going well. Hopefully you are surviving the ups and downs. That's for sure. And Paul, yeah, I think it's now, Paul, now impossible to beat Candace to the stream. I think she's an early one. But good to have you here. Hopefully you're well. And Stan, good morning. Always good to have you here and tuning in. And Matthew, awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Good day. Hopefully everybody's morning's going going okay. Take a quick look at the market. Well, yesterday was ugly. Towards the end, it was looking good yesterday, and then of course everything came out with the Fed yesterday, raising 25 basis points, and market kind of liked it, then kind of didn't like it. It's always fun. It's always interesting to kind of watch the charts, what are happening. I mean, I'm not anywhere near the level to be able to want to be able to trade that what happens, but interesting nonetheless. Let's get in though for Candace's Chat GPT 4 joke of the week, and these are getting better, Candace. Let me just hold on here. I'm getting a pop-up on my window that is bugging me. 1 second here. There we go. That's better. ChatGPT joke of the day. What did the dog say when his stocks went up in value? I've got some positive gains. Time to bury my bonus. Those are pretty good. Bonus. That was pretty good. ChatGPT 4 is doing a good job so far. That is for sure. Those are so bad. So bad they're good. Candace, let me know what kind of other things have you been trying out with ChatGPT? Hopefully not just jokes. Let me know how that is also working. And Red Taco, good morning. Good to have you here. I haven't seen you for a bit. Hopefully you're well. Yeah. I have enough to watch, and then adulting for the rest of the day. Yeah, it's work day today for me too. It's okay. It's busy with work, which is good. Which means if you're working and making money, able to put it into investments. That's the goal. But things have been a busy week for me anyway. So hopefully you're keeping busy, adulting for the rest of the week. All good. And I think I got all the comments. Yeah, people rolling in here. They are. Yeah, all good. Market. Yeah. So obviously Fed's wasn't a surprise. 25 basis points. They're still sticking to their guns. It looks like from the comments of the chair afterwards. If you watched it, they're still targeting 2% inflation. Whether they're going to get there quickly, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely, kind of, I think we can kind of say in Canada, I don't think we're going to see any rates increase for a while. But we'll have to see. We'll really have to see what happens. See what inflation happens with the reports coming out. But sticking to their guns. MC, good morning. Hopefully you're doing well today. Good to have you here tuning in. Just getting coffee, getting going here. What's the temperature outside for you? Oh, it's nice outside. No snow. -40 though. That's cold. It's cooler here. Definitely not definitely not minus definitely not -40. But nice kind of sunny day today. Hopefully be able to get outside at least to get a bit of fresh air today would be nice. Spring is kind of in the air. The blossom, not to rub it into people back east, but the blossoms are starting to kind of slowly come out in the tree. And I've seen some people post pictures and stuff on Instagram, and that there's some blossoms kind of starting to come up different places. So that's good. Winter seemed like a long. I don't know. This winter kind of seemed like a long winter, but I think every winter kind of ends up seeming like a long winter. Okay, there we go. I did have, let me see here. I think I'd had one article, and I hope I didn't close it off. I just got to find it here. Where'd it go? I've lost the page. I've lost the page. I've got to find it, pop it up. And you can see, it's a good day when you can see the cement. Yeah, all our snow is gone here, except for some of the parking lots have some piles of snow as we go there. But yeah, not much else happening here. Getting over winter, getting cleaned up. We'll have to get outside and kind of tidy up the patio and maybe get some stuff planted, but not actually at some family's house this year. I'm going to be starting up it'd be soon time to get up there and kind of start digging, is setting up a garden. So a little bit of way to kind of save some money on food is grow your own. So we're going to set up a kind of a garden in the backyard. Before winter we had got rid of chopped down a lot of the brush and stuff that was back there, so kind of cleared out an area, and it's got all the raked everything up as much as possible to kind of have in there, put some stuff in the compost, and now it'll be in there probably the next couple weeks to kind of get up there and get over there and get everything dug up and get some soil in there and get it kind of ready and planned actually to grow some stuff and grow quite a bit. It's a fair size. I mean, it's not huge, but it'd be a nice size little lot just to see what we can get out of it for the summer for produce. That'd be kind of fun. So save a bit of money on groceries. Obviously, groceries expensive. We talk about it. Went out the other day, and I have to go get more. And it's like it's almost like you spend $200 on groceries, and you don't get anything these days. You walk out the door with a couple of bins, a couple of big bags or whatever. But that's about it. So I think growing some stuff in the garden will definitely help. Freezing rain in the morning. Yeah, I think back east, yeah, you get that quite a bit. We don't get that very often over here, but when it does, it's treacherous even to drive and get out there. You don't want to be outside, but it definitely is a good day to work from home. And those are those days where you're kind of happy when you look outside. I mean, if there's a benefit of working from home and if there's lousy weather, you're thinking, okay, well, you know what, good day to stick home. Stay warm and don't have to go too far. Don't have to go out and scrape the car and travel with all the frenzy of people trying to get to the office, and it's sometimes nice just to stay home and hunker down. That's for sure. And speaking of back to office, we talked a little bit yesterday. It was RBC that they want people back in the office 3 or 4 days a week, and I also read that there was another article with Apple wanting everybody more so back in the office as well, and also with Apple kind of tracking. Obviously, they have their employee proximity cards and check-in time. Time. I don't necessarily time cards, but the cards to track that they're coming in and out of their office door. To make sure that they're there minimum 3 days a week. So slowly getting back to normal. I think a lot of companies want these people back in the office and working. So like I said, RBC, I'm sure we'll start to see articles pop up in the news. Usually it's one bank sets the trend and the rest are going to follow. So we'll probably see TD, CIBC, all the national bank wanting to get people back to the office full time. So I think that's good. Get back to get back to work, and I mean, not to say working from home, but I think they want people back in the office. They're paying for those office spaces, so they want to use them up. That's for sure. 7 where you are, not particularly nice. Yeah, it's only about probably 7 here as well. It's less than 7, actually, lower than 7, I should say. 5 degrees, kind of cloudy, bit of sun poking out through the clouds, but we'll have to see. Always good to talk about the weather. Weather here is like the market. You just have to wait. You wait. What is it? You wait 5 minutes and and it changes. It's kind of what is happening. Notes on that portfolio. I do have to get an update going. Sorry, I shouldn't say I've been slacking this week. We've been doing the live streams. We're sticking with that. I have been busy with work, so haven't had time to film an update. I usually like to get one out by Wednesday, but I will hopefully be able to get one done by later today, if not tomorrow, to get that on. But obviously, nothing major in terms of my portfolio. It's been kind of chugging along. No big increases, no big decreases. Knock on wood. Just other than the standard, keeping with the standard dollar cost average. Into that. That being said, I was able to scoop and find out about there's that webinar today about the Wealthsimple, that private finance thing. I kind of snuck my way in there, so I will try and listen to that webinar today, and I'll be able to report back a little bit with what they kind of are talking about on that one, which is interesting. So sneak in there, listen to that. They'll probably release it later. I know that I did the webinar with them they had kind of a market update webinar that they had sent out, that I got an email from, and they sent out the recording. So I'll be able to at least catch the recording and find it. -1, no good. That's no good. Still minus, not very good. And Brian's here. Morning, Brian. Always good to have you here. That's great. Awesome. That's exactly kind of what happened. MC, good call. It was interesting to watch. It was like the market, when it first came out, it was up like a rocket, and then it kind of did its thing and everything else, and then it was kind of afterwards. Yeah, she had mentioned that they weren't basically not going to be insuring every deposit over 250. The Fed, Powell was kind of, I read it kind of as almost like they're pausing, kind of nothing. They're obviously they increased the rates, but he wasn't overly aggressive in saying that it would be still going on. Other than they're sticking to the guns about inflation, but with the mention of other situations and other things happening, will possibly bring it down as well. So yeah, it was. It's always interesting to hear those. If anybody hasn't listened, it's always worth to kind of at least listen to some of the summaries of it, for sure, just to kind of see what's happening. Obviously, it's not Canada, but it impacts us, right? So always interesting to hear those. Yeah, and the thing with the banks, I haven't really been this morning yet checking a lot of what kind of is happening with some of the banks in the States. There might be, I think there's still some, they're saying that everything's fine. Of course, that's what they have to say, right? They're not going to come up and say, small banks are in trouble. They're not going to go in and say, these things, small banks are in trouble and pull your money out and all this kind of stuff. They're saying basically everything's sound, everything's strong. But with the rate increase, and I think there's probably still some of the smaller banks down in the States. There's so many of them. I'll have to get a chance and get onto Twitter and kind of see, because they seem to be kind of where Twitter, the news kind of happens first, is finding out if there's any other kind of impacts on some of these possible smaller financial institutions down in the States. I can't see, I don't know, not to be doom and gloom, but I can't see it just being what it is. I mean, some other ones have to be impacted somehow. I'm thinking that a lot of deposits are probably coming out of these smaller banks to go into the big ones, right? Like they don't have the same, they have a lot more banks in the States than here, and people are probably looking at it going, okay, well, if they're not, not necessarily going to be insuring deposits over that amount, and I have that, people are probably gonna start looking for different places to go. Um, we'll have to see how that kind of pans out, and if there's any other what, contagion, I guess is the word, but any other impacts to the other ones. Yeah, I'm more on the camp that I think the Bank of Canada will hold will hold rates here. A lot of it, I mean, partly is obviously with all the stuff with the mortgages. I think that's the one thing about here. I think we're not necessarily getting the full impact of it because there's I'd have to look at the numbers on what people took variable rate mortgages in the last basically in the last within the last 5 years of if they're in a variable rate mortgage term. It's quite high. But also too, don't forget, a lot of those payments are static, so they haven't had a lot of people haven't really felt the impacts of these rate increases. If you're in a variable rate mortgage at a bank that doesn't increase with prime rate, hard to say what's gonna happen. I guess FOMC is dedicated to keep going. I suspect to go another 25 basis points. And the latest Bank of Canada minutes illustrate they are worried about sticky inflation. And yeah, I think Candace, I think you're right. I think as long as we still see these numbers tick down, even if it's coming down just even a touch, they'll probably keep the pause in place. That's my feeling. I follow a few other Canadian kind of people in real estate and mortgage industry and on Twitter, and one had posted today kind of saying they see Bank of Canada. It's so hard to predict, right? Because we could turn around tomorrow and everything could be completely different. This is what's so hard about predictions. But he was kind of predicting as best can no increases here for at least, but possibly seeing a decrease come like December at the end of this year. Maybe they're going to try and keep it. I think they're going to try and keep it held here as long as possible before possibly increasing. I think what would surprise me more if they raised rates here than if they actually decreased them sooner. I kind of think almost we may get some possible. If you look at the charts and stuff out of the States, what the market's kind of price, it's so weird what the market is pricing, thinking rates just dropping in the summertime. But it's hard to know. Everything, as we see, it's like an impossible thing to predict. You can speculate what the heck is gonna happen, but who knows? So I just kind of look at things what I can control, and I can control what I invest every week and stick with my plan. I'm not changing from that plan for me. At this point, and just carrying on with us kind of small deposits. Yeah, and just going forward that way. But we will see rates come down, and once that cycle comes around, that's what'll help. I think will help our if we the ones it's sticking through it. I mean, it's been a rough, like, we're coming up to almost a couple years, a good year of a bear in the market, and so lots of ugly, and I think if we can get through, you want to say it, if we can get through this, we can kind of get through anything. But yeah, it's definitely a tough, sometimes tough when you look at your portfolios and you look at what you're investing in. It's just like, holy cow, it can't catch a break. But I think it just kind of shows like slow and steady timing. Time in the market beats timing the market for sure. And then coming out on the other end, with consistency, I think will pay off. So that's that. Yeah. And let me pull up one thing we haven't looked at for a little bit. Oh, that's a whole other thing too, Brian. Yeah, we have the budget. We have the budget coming up March 28th, I believe. Um, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Talks of tax increases. That's kind of what was going around with the higher tax bracket. Um, in regards to that, yeah, we'll have to see. I haven't. You know what? I haven't. I actually haven't been, other than reading like the headlines of the kind of let's see, of the kind of rumors. I haven't dug too deep into it with that. But let me see here if I can find something that's recent coming up. It doesn't always. I just want to double check the dates. When does this come out? Budget. I'll look on. Yeah, no, I'm not. Just seeing, trying to find the actual date. I could be wrong with the date that it gets tabled. You'll have to help me out in the comments. Just trying to search it. No, I can't find it. Anyways, there we go. But fill us in. Let us know. I mean, Brian, what do you think? What do you think's coming on? The big thing, the big, like I said, the big kind of rumor and headlines were the tax increases, especially at the top end, that I saw come through. But I haven't really read too much else on it. Out of the loop. But one thing I was going to bring up, if anybody mentions the budget, we'll jump back into it. But we haven't pulled up the Coffee Crew watch list for a while actually. So I figured we kind of look at that. These are for people that are watching. These are some of the stocks, ETFs that some of the Coffee Crew is kind of watching. It's always nice we always look at this. It's nice to see if it is green, obviously. Some of the ones. So these are kind of basically some of the ones that are suggested by the crew to kind of for further research. Obviously, not saying to buy any of these definitely, but these are some of the ones that everybody has in their portfolios. So if anybody ever has questions, we kind of can pull this up if we're looking for certain things. We've got some ones in REITs, we've got renewables, we've got RSPs, we got some tech ones as well. Tech doing good right now, actually. I think tech is if you get in the right. I think it's a good time to get into tech. That's just me personally, but I think we're going to see some. We'll see some gains on that. I think in the next little bit. We'll have to see as we get out of this. I do have to get a bit more tech in my TFSA. That was hence the looking a little bit about some tech ETFs. I know a few people on the stream have some of the ARC ETFs. Um, definitely risky and volatile. But that was one I almost kind of talked about, is putting a little bit into into the ARC with some of the YouTube channel revenue, which I mean is not a ton by any means. Probably maybe get $30-40 a month maybe to go in there, but might be something to more gamble invest anyways to kind of put in that. But that was that. Let me know. I guess a big thing with everybody, what's everybody kind of have their eyes on? Obviously, the market is still up and down. But what are people's? I mean, I have my goals for this year and kind of have laid out kind of what I plan to do. But is there anything else that anybody else is doing? I know MC's kind of holding back a little bit, got cash, kind of waiting to put in still a portion. But if anybody else like kind of wants to share kind of what they're doing right now, that would be kind of interesting to hear. It's always kind of helps everybody out. I know Zach isn't here, but Zach is consistently purchasing XEQT, so super diversified ETF. Does that every week. Purchasing that has a goal of I think it's about six or like he has quite a hefty goal to put into that. What's great, but it'd be great to hear kind of everybody where everybody kind of is. What's the like? What are you looking at? What are you buying? What are you kind of how are you carrying forward? I guess in this time. And work from home bearable. Yeah. It's nice to stay home when it's winter, but you're returning to the office. Okay, so more and more people returning to office. Yeah. Um, and yeah, tech. Good comment, Candice. U.S. tech sector will lead the way out of the market, so I would not be surprised to see them lead the way back up into the bull. Yeah, they were kind of the first, and it's almost too. If you're looking at it, it's almost like back leading into the like going into the bear. It's almost like if you look at tech, if you kind of lump Bitcoin and cryptocurrency into that, it's like that hit first, and then the tech. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we have Bitcoin has had an excellent year to date. It's still down from its all-time highs, but if you're looking at it year to date coming out of this, it's doing quite well. I think it's up like 65% or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see what that does. Maybe check out, that's maybe one thing to kind of watch, is watch what Bitcoin and watch what some of the digital. I think I was kind of pretty much really just watch Bitcoin, but if you watch some of the other digital currencies, what's kind of happening with that, that would probably lead tech a little bit. And then if we see tech come up, we'll see the whole full circle, maybe. But it might be somewhere to kind of watch and look at that, and see if we keep seeing some increases in. I mean, we do have a few. I mean, we have the tech ETFs to kind of watch. Obviously, one day is not indicative of what the heck's going to happen tomorrow, but it might be something to kind of keep an eye on. Keep it on some of your keep it on some of your watch lists just to see what's kind of going on. That might kind of give us some indication when we're kind of out of this. We'll be. I think we'll be out of this, I think we'll be out of the bear. We kind of almost are. I think we're kind of getting out of there. It doesn't seem I mean, it seems ugly out there, but it seems like we're kind of at that point where we're at the kind of top of that, and it's going to start to kind of go. That's just how I kind of feel. Maybe I'm a bit optimistic, but. Bank of Canada doesn't. Yeah, they don't seem to be as worried about bringing down inflation. I mean, but we are seeing the numbers drop too, right? MC, like they are. So it's. I think they're kind of at the point. I mean, I think they're. I think it was a good thing they paused to give everything a bit of room to kind of work its way through. So yeah, it's. I think we'll see Bank of Canada definitely paused. I don't think they're going in as aggressive as the States was. And that's kind of that's kind of how Powell is, right? He's taking the kind of um, he's taken the stance, right? And he started off with that stance, and he's not wavering from that. So, and also too, I mean, they did kind of mention they were considering a pause, obviously with everything going on, but I think they're just sticking to it. And if you look at it too, if they increase it, like they said, they increased it 25 basis points, that just gives them also more room when they have to drop. It doesn't have to come down as much. I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to drop. It's just kind of when, right? They always will come down. We won't have these high rates forever. Oh, good call there. It's the 3-year anniversary of the low from March 2020. Okay, good call. If you ever go back and look at, if you go back and look at if you're looking at charts and past prices of stocks and ETFs, and I always kind of look at this too, and you always look back and you look at March 2020 and you go, Oh, I wish I could have bought these. I wish I could have bought these back in March 2020, because if you look how much it's gone up, and so we have, you know what I mean. If you look at it, it gives some perspective and stuff. What happens with time, because certain things are back to those levels, but certain things are still higher. But interesting to kind of see. So we'll look back, we'll look back in 3 years, and we'll go, okay, hey, here, this was, you can see here was the bottom of 2020, 2023 or 2022, whatever it would be. Always interesting. Yeah. Crazy. 3 years. 3 years. That's yeah, the years are definitely kind of 2020, 2021 are kind of, 2020 especially was kind of it was interesting, like a write-off year. I think for a lot of people, yeah, it definitely was different. That is for sure. It's almost like it's kind of like not a forgotten year, but it's kind of like a year that is just kind of, it's interesting. It'll be interesting as we look back, like as you look back at that, what the heck happened, and it was just so out there, and it's almost like it. I mean, obviously 2020 happened, but it's almost like it didn't happen, because it's became kind of a blur. Interesting time. That is for sure. For everybody in the world, right? Yeah, I had just moved to a new city, and literally a week later was shut down. So interesting times. But I think, if anything, as a positive of that, that's when I kind of started to really start to, because you're not working the same. You're not not going out to restaurants was one thing, but so for me, it was the start of kind of a shift, a shift into saving a bit more, because obviously you don't have, if you're not working, and also cooking more from home. I'm fortunate enough, I have a history of being being in that industry, but had prior to that eat out a lot and waste money on that. But so it kind of forces you to kind of look at things differently, save differently, budget, and I just carried it through and kept kind of going. And so I started investing a little bit late. I know a lot of people in mid 20, into mid 2020. There was the whole meme stock thing and GameStop and all that kind of stuff. I never got into it at that point, but I did start more focused, kind of not self-directed investing, but that's when I kind of started looking at because I had my investments, and I had transferred some investments into Wealthsimple on the invest side, because I had some the Lira and stuff like that. So I started to take a bit more active role around that time as well, and then started doing my channel, kind of starting my first deposit, first deposit in this will be 2020. Well, it'll be 2 years for the channel, April 1st. So I started April 1st, 2021. So prior to that, I was just basically doing like the robo advisor, that part of it, and then started to decide to try and learn a bit more, and figure it out. So that's when I did my first deposit. It was April 1st, 2021. Going forward, so it was good. It's definitely been a good learning experience, the last couple of years, and then even prior to that. I will say, the one thing about, I have it's a Lira over on the Wealthsimple side, the invest side. So I can't really do anything with it other than choose the where it's the allocations in terms of equities, and that if from Wealthsimple, from the invest side, you choose the scale of how you want to invest, basically based on your risks and everything else. But I do have my RSP there, so this is the thing with RSP, and what I've noticed is, and again, slow and steady just kind of works, is just regular deposits. It's doing fine. It's not, because I started, when I started it was, the market was still high, transferring in, but carrying forward, it's chugging away. It's doing okay. Yeah, not no complaints about that. So it just kind of goes to show with regular kind of steady deposits, everything seems to eventually fall into place. But yeah, so 3 years nostalgia. Which is crazy. There we go. Well, we're over halfway. It's all good. Thanks everybody for tuning in on the stream. As a reminder, if you're watching, we've got a bunch of people watching as always. And if you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. Helps out the channel to get it out to people. And again, if anybody has any questions, comments, fire them away. It's always good to hear what people are thinking as we go through with that. Always fun to do these. We'll keep doing these for the next little bit. Actually, it's always fun. It's a good start to the day to kind of see what the heck is happening, and if it's we can always. If we have those good days, it's always nice to talk about the good days. If we have the bad days, it gets us through those bad days as well. In that market, yeah, go forward, move forward slowly and surely. It's all good. Is Easter Bunny is Easter Bunny rally a thing? Maybe I'll take it. Easter Bunny rally. We kind of had the Santa rally after. I think we've had a good year to date. We can't forget that. But yeah, maybe there is. Ask ChatGPT if there's such a thing as a Easter Bunny rally coming out. The thing I like about the Easter is I mean I don't get Easter Bunny doesn't come anymore, unfortunately, but I like those Cadbury Easter cream eggs that come out at Christmas, or not Christmas, on Easter. Those are like one of my favorite. They've gotten smaller though. Shrinkflation. I think I've grown too, but I remember them as a kid being the size of an actual egg. Now they're not the size of an actual egg anymore, and shrinkflation has definitely hit Cadbury cream eggs the last little while, but they're good. They're good. So super sweet though, but I do like those, and the caramel ones as well. Well, the caramel ones aren't quite the same, but I do like those as well. Super sweet. Yeah, that does make sense actually. Tech word needs to be subcategorized. That kind of does make sense. There is lots of different categories, right? I mean, tech used to be kind of just like tech. It was just like computers, right? Microsoft. We had Microsoft, Apple, but now I mean, there's AI now. There's lots of tech, like payment systems are more, or I would say more tech. Like if you look at things like Square or Block, I guess it's called now. But then there's also social media and tech, right? You could really segregate a lot of that into definitely different sections. That might be kind of that could be a project for me to kind of work on some watch lists in terms of social media. Break it down to three or four or five, and see, and it seems to kind of go through waves. It'll be interesting to see what really takes off with tech. It seems right now AI is kind of the buzzword. You could even put I would even possibly put like Tesla into tech, right? Because they're doing a lot with AI as well, and and probably some other car manufacturers possibly, but so ARC-like stocks will most likely soar once it's announced hiking rates is over. Yeah, I think we see the official. I mean, I took yesterday's as kind of a pause, but again, they're still kind of mentioning we're still considering down the road, but so not technically pause. And it's but there is lots of garbage in those different categories, which will never come back. So you definitely have to be selective. That's why probably an ETF makes more sense, especially for like these really speculative stocks. You maybe want to, because I mean, I think Kathy would probably do a better job maybe not then I always like to think that these people would do a better job than I would. But again, risk, right? Lots of risk in those stocks. Well, might do well though. You just need the one or two that's in there that really does that really takes off, right? Oh, okay. So good to know. An Easter rally is not a regular current event in the stock market. However, some market traders and investors believe the market tends to perform well around holidays, including Easter. There we go. Okay, well, we celebrate all holidays equally. We have to find out. We have to find Canada's a holiday for. You probably find a holiday for almost every day of the week. So we have to get the big ones. Easter rally this year. We'll see. Has energy tech has not been the best performer since March 2020. Energy has decimated every other sector last time I checked. That probably does make sense, actually. I bet you if you looked at some of them, yeah. With energy, we always need energy, right? And that one really took a drop off. I know, like if you look at the oil price back in March, right? That's for sure. I know a few people that have done well with oil in their investments for sure. Oh, part two from ChatGPT is GPT-4 is very thorough. This observation is based on the idea that positive sentiment during holiday periods can lead to increased buying activity. Makes sense, which in turn can cause stock prices to go up. That makes sense. I mean, if people have a good energy, good sentiment out there, it leads to some euphoria, right? Much like you see on days that are like on days that are green. It's such a psychological thing, right? On days that are green, you're thinking, yes, it's great, it's green, and it's, I should get more, I should buy more, I should do this, and that's where I think sticking to your plan works. And don't be sucked into the euphoria, but that's what people do, right? But on the flip side, people panic on the flip side, and you might have you're sitting on unrealized losses, but as soon as you sell, those things are realized. So it can be a stressful investing can be stressful, that's for sure. So we need some positive Easter. We'll go for the Easter rally. Well, let's see. We'll have an Easter rally this year. That would be nice. Anyways, there we go. Coming up to quarter two, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. These are always good. These are always a lot of fun. Keeps me going in the day. I just had my phone alarm go off to remind me, because I do have a lot of work today, which is good, which is awesome. Keeps me busy and keeps me able to invest, which is always good. So, any last little comments, questions? Fire them on. We'll kind of go through. Going forward, we'll have the stream posted on the channel a bit later today. I'll get that scheduled, so it will pop up and you will be able to hit that notification to get notified when we go live. But if you're watching, it is 8 o'clock Monday to Friday on Pacific time as we go. So just again, special shout out as always, Candace. Really appreciate it. Channel member. Appreciate you joining the channel and supporting it that way. If anybody else is interested and wanting to do that, post up on the members tab. You can check it out. There's a video on there. You kind of can learn what you get, but I share when I do my purchases on there. And if you're asking any kind of answering questions, I'll make sure you get kind of priority reply. The channel is is growing. It's slowly but surely. We're not out of the bear yet. So I think if we start to see channel subscribers start to kind of go up, we'll see the market kind of improve as well, because more people get interested in investing when it is green. But we'll see how it goes. The channel's growing. Always appreciate everybody that is tuning in, watching live. Your comments are awesome. Makes my life easy to do it. And a quick question for MC. No, my Lira is not self-directed. No, it's not. It's on the invest side, and pretty happy with how it's going. I think if I was to play with it, I probably would screw it up. So I've got it pretty much pretty happy with where it is. I'll let them do their thing. The biggest thing with the Lira, I can't deposit into it, right? Obviously. So other than just some any kind of dividends gains that way are what makes it kind of roll. But yeah, I've been happy. It's doing okay. Yeah, it's doing okay. It's been invested for, it's been invested for gosh, 20 years now. So I guess 20, yeah, 20 years. So pretty happy. And just kind of, it's doing what it's doing. And I don't want to mess. It's one of those things where it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, yeah. So it's always good. But there we go. And sorry, MC, with that, I don't know if you can have a I don't know if in Wealthsimple you can have a self-directed layer or not. I really, that part I never really looked into. I do not know. I know you can have a self-directed. I think they just allow self-directed RSP and TFSA and personal account from what I kind of gather. But when I switched it over there, I just had it transferred, and the transfer was super smooth. Takes about a week or so to kind of get it over there, week and a bit, because you have to sell the existing account, settles to cash, and then then it gets transferred in cash, and then it has to buy and everything else. So it took about a week kind of altogether. But yeah, there we go. Thanks everybody. We'll leave it with Candace. We've got the oh, you just looked. There we go. Looked up. Energy has 2 times the returns of technology since March 2020 low. There we go. So something to maybe look at. Interesting. Yeah, I think energy might be somewhere to look at too, MC, for sure. But again, it's volatile, right, as we've seen. But so is tech, right? So I guess that means diversify. They need to have a tech slash energy ETF combination. And you got all your bases covered. I guess that means, well, that could do kind of a lot of stuff. Do it separately, but 2 times that's crazy. I'm gonna have to look at that a bit more. Energy, 2 times the returns of technology since the low. Interesting times. All right. Well, thanks everybody. It is quarter 2. I do have to take off, get to work. We'll leave with Candace's comment. Always appreciated Candace. We got the Easter Bunny in there with the ears. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Always fun. We'll catch you in the next one. We'll catch you tomorrow.